Welcome once again to Emerald Downs Weekly, 1 hour every week covering our racing at Emerald Downs. Season number 24 well underway in Auburn, Washington, and the big day of the year is coming up. Well, maybe this weekend for many, and then August 11th, Championship Sunday, Mile Day. Joe Withey, Gary Doherty, and Vince Brune. Vince pinch hitting for Phil Ziegler, our track president, and yeah, a big day this weekend, Gary, Sunday especially. This is going to have a large crowd.
Absolutely. If you're coming Sunday, make sure to come early. We're expecting 72 corgis here.
72?
Yeah, 6 heats of 12 with the top 2 in each race, making it to the big championship finale. Vince, this is with the third annual?
Third annual, yeah. It's been quite a hit, as you know, Gary. It's really one of our big days of the season. Nice to see those full fields.
Yes.
6 corgi races, so a couple of heats after certain thoroughbred races. That's how we're going to do it?
Yep, after 3 of the different thoroughbred races, we'll run 2 heats, and all of the corgis back to the park area. They're going to relax under the tent. Plenty of water for the owners and the corgis. Keep them all rested and ready to go, and we'll bring them out for the winner take all. I think it's very competitive. Last year's winner, Toby, has moved out of state. Second place finisher, Birdie, is not making it this weekend, but Reba, who ran third, who hit a great start, she's back to be here Sunday for the third annual corgi races.
Some room at the top then with Toby and Birdie out. Those corgis seem to have pretty nice personalities, really.
They do. In the park area, yeah. I can see why they're so popular, Joe. Maybe we all should get one of those and race them next year.
And maybe not, too. But yeah. Hey, 72 will be here at Emerald Downs. It's quite a spectacle, and we thought the wiener dogs were big, and they are, but the corgis have surpassed all of the special event, except for maybe the kids' race might grow to be that big one of these days. We'll have that later in the show. Emerald Downs Weekly every Thursday night at 11 right here on NBC Sports Northwest, and then Friday morning at 9 a.m., a repeat version. And we're getting close to the mile, Vince. Nominations closed this past weekend.
They did, yeah. We have 21 nominations. I guess we'd say Any Port in a Storm, who's been the best horse here at Emerald Downs, leads the list alphabetically, and also probably in terms of race record.
Weight and favoritism and probability to win. We'll have more on the mile noms.
He worked 6 furlongs Monday. As we know, he skipped the Mount Rainier a couple weeks ago and is being trained into the mile. 6 furlongs in 1:12 and 4, so it looks like he's right on pace for Peter Redekop and Blaine Wright.
Peter Redekop looking for his first Longacres Mile victory. He has just been so successful for many decades, based in, of course, Vancouver, BC. And how about Blaine Wright, the year he's having? He's got the favorite, probable favorite, not necessarily in the mile, which is on August 11th. We'll get to that as well. Let's get back to last Friday night. We had a Fab Friday here at Emerald Downs, and 7 races. We had the horseshoe toss. We had the beverage specials. We had music as well. The first race on the card was for 2-year-old fillies, and Sassy Edie won it, a daughter of a Barrage. This is a Steve Bullock trainee with Ryan Barber. And Vince, Ryan Barber has been hot lately. There's Sassy Edie emerging.
Yeah, Ryan Barber is our jockey of the week. He's another 4 wins last week, 12 for his last 34. And Sassy Edie, our Washington bred of the week for David Israel there, the breeder. Yep. That was a pretty happy winner's circle, I noticed, after that race, too.
Yeah, that was a little bit unexpected, I think, the connections. Steve Bullock, the trainer, and David were kidding around the next morning. You didn't bet on Sassy Edie? They were, and they weren't all that.
That was a 10-to-1 shot, right?
Yeah, 11-1 for Sassy Edie, a third-time starter by a Barrage out of David's mare, David Israel, Oriental Affair. Okay, let's go on.
Real quick, I looked up Steve Bullock. He's won 4 races this year at 10-to-1 or higher.
Wow.
Most of any trainer, Steve Bullock.
So his betting stat,
pretty high.
What are we calling it now? The
betting rank.
Betting rank,
yes.
Has got to be excellent for Steve Bullock. Let's go on to the second race. On Friday night at Emerald Downs, this favorite came through, Numea, from trainer, actually claimed from trainer Frank Lucarelli and Chad Christensen. They did well last week. Lucarelli and Christensen, number 1 trainer, number 1 owner, now in the barn of Alan Bozell, but Numea is 2 for 2 at Emerald Downs. There is Javier Matias aboard, who's done some great work for Lucarelli and Christensen. We'll have more on those two. Let's move further along to Friday action. As they used to in Notre Dame football, you move further along to future action. Let's go on to the 6th race, and this was our feature race for fillies and mares, non-winners at 2. Let's hear from track announcer Tom Harris.
Middle of the racetrack comes Fleet Marie for the final furlong now. Racing back third is R-Rated. Deep stretch they come now. And from the outside, Fleet Marie is right there. Timberlake Gage fights back at the inside. These two right down to the wire. Fleet Marie on the outside. Very close finish. Maybe Fleet Marie by a whisker.
That was a tight one, but Tom was right. Fleet Marie by a whisker over Timberlake Gage. And Fleet Marie, second career victory. She started her lifetime racing action with a win as a 2-year-old here last year. And she wins on Friday night. The feature, Juan Gutierrez for Bonnie Jenny, Craig Fredrickson. Now, she was claimed by Chad Christensen. Frank
You bet.
Lucarelli. So they lost one, gained one.
Craig Fredrickson's dad taught math in high school way back in the day when I went to school at Hazen High School.
Did he? Okay.
Yes.
Good teacher?
Great teacher, one of the best. He may have won an award for best in Washington. And his son is Craig's goes to hockey games. He's a good guy too.
Yeah. Say, so Chad Christensen, Frank Lucarelli last week, Vince. Frank Lucarelli was coming off a 7-win week.
He was, and he had another 7. As we mentioned, 5 for Chad.
Fantastic.
So Chad's got 17 wins, leading owner, and Frank is what? He's winning so many, I'm losing track.
We'll recap that.
49, I think.
Yeah, and he's, 49, and he's just 7 away from 1,000 here at Emerald Downs. So first trainer ever to do that, and he's on pace,
He is. Okay.
to break the single season record,
We'll have more on the the trainer and owner standings. Gary Wales maintaining a nice lead in the jockey standings. The 7th and final on Friday night. This horse has been winning fairly frequently the last couple years, and he was bet down to heavy favoritism. There he goes to the front. It's Party for One. He's going to beat Crushin' Candy. Dustin's Passion in for third. Party for One now. He was last year's claimer of the year in Washington with 8 total victories. That, again, the Chad Christensen Silks, Frank Lucarelli, a double for that group. And Party for One has now won 10 of his last 20 starts between here and Fort Meadows. Very good. Okay, much more to come here on Emerald Downs Weekly. Stay tuned. Emerald Downs Weekly continues. Thanks for joining us. Joe Withy, Gary Doherty, our promotions manager. Vince Brune, Director of Media Relations. Vince busy with mile stuff. Gary, the Corgis this week, that has to take a lot of phone calls and emails to get 72 Corgis out here.
Exactly. The last few months, we opened up the entries in May, and within the first 2 weeks, we had over 70 Corgis send information in. So now we're just making sure they know when to come and where to go, and make sure to come early because, as we know, we'll have 12,000, 13,000 here. Any horses running this weekend from the racing club, you think?
No,
Vince,
sir.
Sunday?
No, we got one. She's an Eagle, and she ran last week. So
Okay.
we're still looking to maybe claim another one, but
There
we're
you
at
go.
one horse.
The club is down to one horse.
Yeah.
They've been popular at the claim box, those Emerald Racing Club horses. But that's money in the account. All right, Saturday racing. Again, first race at 5 p.m. on Saturdays at Emerald Downs, and we had a special guest. We'll get to that. Let's go to that first race, and this Stay in Grace for Linda Northam. This horse is just, she's a winner. She's 7 for 12 lifetime and paid a huge price at Emerald Downs back in April. She's now 3 for 4 at this meeting.
You bet. And Linda Northam is our trainer of the week.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
great.
there she is right there. And Wayne Williams, a good friend of mine, is the co-owner there. So congrats to them. We went against them with She's an Eagle. And I saw Wayne in the paddock. I said, if we don't win, I hope you do. And I sincerely meant that, and he did too. He's a great guy and a big fan of Emerald Downs. So good for Wayne. They're really having fun with that Stay in Grace.
Yeah, 3 for 4 at the meeting. She had been off 7 weeks or so, but came right back like a real racehorse does, and a nice win. Let's go on further on to Saturday's card, and we'll go to race number 6. And Tesla has been on the lead, off the lead. She's dwarfing her opponent there in size. Ryan Barber knows this mare well. Look at her just keep galloping. as she wins another route race.
You bet. And those Papa Clems have been running pretty good at the meet, Joe, and that's 3 straight and a couple of photos for Tesla. Ryan Barber really getting along with that mare well. And we mentioned, Ryan is 9 for 38 with Ellen Bazell. So, new face. Those two have really clicked nicely this year at Emerald Downs.
Yeah, and the Boz having a good season as well. But Ryan Barber, yeah, Tesla has not lost around 2 turns. She is 3 for 3. Let's go on to the feature race, and this was for fillies and mares. Stay with us right after the race is over because we have more from race 7 on Saturday.
Diamonds are trying to take him the distance here. Opened up by 3.5. Boomerang Miss in pursuit. At the inside, Tony Ann's Miracle. On the outside, Jerry to carry. But Diamonds are looking strong in the final 70 yards. Goes wire to wire.
Diamonds are by 5 official lengths. She won the Irish Day Stakes last year here at Emerald Downs, so we knew she could go 2 turns. Tom Harris had her as his long shot of the day, but after the scratches of under par, and then there was an extra scratch, Diamonds are paid $9 to win. Still a nice pay. Eddie Martinez up for Tom Wenzel.
George Tadaro, Silks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dr. Tadaro and David Cordova, they won the Irish Day with Diamonds are. She's back on the beam. And we had a little bit of a funny start to race 7 on Saturday night here at Emerald Downs. Check the outside horse there. That is Brilliant Bird. And she's got a little extra carriage going on there. The little flapping, that is a starting blanket that is supposed to come off when the race starts. Now, many tracks use those blankets because it's for horses that don't really like to feel the metal gate against them. They're just a trial and error thing. And they are hooked so that they stay at the gate when the horse goes. It didn't happen that time.
So they're hooked.
Yeah.
There's not a person back there holding it. They kind of fasten it on the gate, and then it opens up.
Yeah. And talking to Clerk Scale Hugh Wales, Jock didn't realize the blanket was still on until felt it coming off on the backstretch there, and that's the reason kept riding. In a situation like that, the horse declared a non-starter for obvious reasons.
Right.
Brilliant Bird seems to be in the middle of some things. But anyway, she was scratched. She was not an official starter. All wagers on her were refunded. Of course, she didn't get a best chance to run there. Might have held her up just a touch at the start, and then a little extra flapping in the breeze there.
The past performances next time say blanket on somewhere in the line.
It'll say non-starter on there, yeah.
So Diamonds are won it. Brilliant Bird was scratched, and that was there were a lot of eyes on the last placed horse going into the first turn in that race on Saturday, and that I'm sure it won't happen again.
By the way, those of you who follow figures, Diamonds are got a huge one there, an 83 buyer. Yeah, and it was we saw that earlier this with the 3-year-old filly where Killarney last took a little bet back, dropping a little class out of a stakes race. They did the same here with Diamonds Are. And sometimes that's a good remedy for a horse that's shown some class but is struggling a little bit. And you drop it back in a race like, an optional claimer, and they get their confidence up. And it's worked. We've seen with Killarney last, now with Diamonds Are. That was a nice run.
What did Killarney last get buyer-wise?
She got an 83, I believe, when she won by 18. And she's just a 3-year-old filly, so that was a pretty big figure for her. And Diamonds
toward the Oaks on Mile Day.
You bet, yeah.
Killarney
So
last.
I think her confidence has to be pretty high after that last run.
Okay, how about the 8th and final on Saturday? And this was a maiden race. It's just a little more tribute to those Silks. Chad Christensen's Balamo coming off just her second start actually since May, but she had enough. She was kind of detached early, went wide, but won it. Kevin Orozco, Frank Lucarelli with a triple on Saturday.
His 6th triple of the meet.
6th triple, and he had 2 on Friday. And Chad Christensen, we can give it away right now. He entered 5 races over the weekend. He won all 5 of them.
Is that right?
And he had 2 and 1, so he was 5 for 6 stat-wise. But yeah, that's not bad. Entering 5 and winning all of them. So that was a look at Saturday. And also on Saturday, a special guest. And Gary, you helped line this one up. We had a guest jockey at the track.
Akifumi Kato, hard to believe he's won a race 48 straight years. In fact, 2 races going back to 1972. And Joe, he says he's ready to ride some more, I guess.
Oh, yeah, he's fit, and he's 67 years old, and there's the angle there. He rode for 95-year-old trainer Arturo Arboleda. Cat's Gulch on Saturday at Emerald Downs. They weren't able to win it, but Akifumi Kato visiting Emerald Downs, one of the many tracks he's won at in the past.
Yep, Long Acres, Emerald Downs, Yakima, Playfair, Portland, Boise, Billings. All over the Northwest.
A lot of pictures taken of Aki with people.
Yeah.
They were coming up to him left and right, and
cool.
He was popular here, signed some autographs as well. Yeah, he's headed back to Arizona Downs. He's going to ride more, but how about that? 48 consecutive years. He's won 2 or more races. So great to see Aki at Emerald Downs. And we'll be back with more of Sunday and what's upcoming at Emerald Downs. Emerald Downs Weekly, taking a look at some of last week's action. July 28th, Sunday, would be 2 weeks from the Longacres Mile and Championship Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The Mile, the Distaff, the Washington Oaks, and the Muckleshoot Derby, all on Championship Sunday, August 11th, and more on that. But let's head back to the 28th, just last weekend, and let's head back to the first race. And Mike Bubba Boleen had Butamus in this race, and she did well. He got a victory out of her. She was under some heavy competition, but Mike Bubba Boleen's been in the game a long time for a young fella. Mm-hmm. And he was proud of her, I'm sure, after this race because she fought off her competition. Take a look at me, the favorite on her outside, color of money on the rail. Excuse me. There's Butamus with Gary Wales starting another streak. Let's go on to the 5th race. This was an outstanding field, fellas. 2-year-olds. We had 2 fillies in there, and one of the fillies is coming up the rail. My Foal from trainer Manny Ortiz, the Tim Bankers Silks, and just a big win. Drop your buffs.
And you know,
second.
We're talking about hot owners. How about Tim Bankers and Manny Ortiz? The race before that, Foggia, their 4-year-old filly, won her third at the meet.
Third at the meet, yeah.
Yeah, with a really fast horse, and this one came up the rail for a nice upset. So they're, like Chad, Tim Bankers and Manny Ortiz are really clicking right now.
Twirling Devon
won the Irish Day. Biggest stakes upset of the meet, $32.
Okay, so there's a filly, and Muncie ran 4th in there, speeding up the rail late for Howard Belvoir, first-time starter by Munnings. And, yeah, you can watch the replay of that. EmeraldDowns.com, free replays and free live streaming video on race day as well. So nice debut by that 2-year-old filly. Let's go on to the 8th race, and this was a first-time Emerald Downs runner. And his name is Close to Midnight by Midnight Loot, Calbred, 5-year-old in the Lucarelli barn. Chad Christensen, this was impressive.
Explosive win here. This horse was 12 lengths back on the backstretch and went very wide around the turn into the lane and won going away. And this one paid $12.
$12, and he moved his record to 4 for 4 at a mile and a 16th. Unbeaten is that horse, Close to Midnight. And that was it for Chad Christensen and Lucarelli for the week. Not bad.
How'd they get this one, Vince? They claim it in California, or?
Oh, yeah. Right here. Claimed it for, looks like $8,000.
$8,000.
Nice John Martin, yeah. And I thought, watching the race, I thought the horse was in trouble on the backstretch. But then, like I said, it just made a big, wide loop and move and just kept going. Nice ride. Javier Matias is 10 wins now riding for Chad Christensen.
That's great.
Another great combo there.
Okay, let's go to the 10th and final on Sunday just to show why I never give up on a horse. See that horse in second right there, Gary? That horse was dead last at the 3/8 pole in a sprint. Jeez. But Jose Zanino kept to task, and I gave it away. He's going to get up. Cat's Touch right there over Kopitar at the wire. Jose, jocks are pretty proud of that when they look like they timed it right, which he did. Trainer was Saratoga West and Jeff Metz. Yeah, but Cat's Touch took the finale at Emerald Downs. We did have a carryover in the 20-cent jackpot pick 7. Nobody had one winning ticket with 7 of 7. So there's your carryover for Friday night.
Yeah, what happened? What also happened Sunday? I heard it had a big race for the kids.
That's right.
Kids race.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Didn't you hear our producer say about next segment on that?
Next segment?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're screwing up the plan. Well, let's show it now since Gary called for it. It was just a
start.
huge response. Okay, on the outside, I got my eye on the outside there in the blue. The 17 or 16-year-olds.
16 and under now, Joe.
I like the yellow
Come
in
on.
mid-track.
Okay.
Now, Dean's down there pointing at the winner right here. Dean will. We lost him in the picture.
Oh, the kid in the yellow. Vince knew. Vince is past posting us.
No, I'm not. I'm just looked like he had a shot there.
There were some 200 kids out there, and
Yeah,
here they
that's great.
come. There comes the younger set.
And they all got an ice cream treat for their participating.
Yeah. The fans loved
Exactly.
it. Of course, there's probably 2 fans for every one of the kids watching, so that's a good thing. But that was a kids' race on Sunday. We'll do that.
We're going to do it one more time, Joe.
Sounds good.
We're thinking about maybe having the kids run through the starting gates. It's an option.
Okay.
Got to make sure it's safe, right?
We're going to have to borrow some gates for some other tracks.
Well, they'll just all run through a
Can,
scotch.
can we put the blanket on the kids that don't like the men?
Hey,
Could
we've
do
been
that.
talking, Chad Christensen and Frank Lucarelli. Let's take a look at the owner standings here at Emerald Downs. And Chad Christensen, with that 5-victory week, is up to 17 wins.
You know, and John Parker's 3-time defending champ, so wouldn't count him out yet.
No, he has got a good-sized stable and has been in a little bit of a slump. That happens, but Chad with a huge week, 28% on the win end. He's also the leading owner in terms of purse earnings, which is great. He's new into the game.
And the Hansons are right there in terms of purse earnings, too, with horses like Best of Me and Oh Marvelous Me coming up in the...
I might have misspoke on that. Do you think I did?
Well, it's really close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's those.
Come
they're,
on, Joe.
No,
Get
they're
it
1-2.
right. Get it right.
Yeah,
Get
so.
it right. Okay. And the record for wins in one Emerald Downs meeting is held by the Swag Stables of Keith Swaggerty, and I guess
think that
that
was
record would be within reach for
Well,
possibly.
he's not on pace, but
No.
the pace of the last couple of weeks, if he keeps that up, he will. I think it's 27.
27 wins.
For the Swag in 2009, a decade ago, with
Yeah.
Van Belvoir was the trainer. So, yeah, Chad and Frank really clicking on all cylinders the last couple of weeks. Wow.
Okay, how about the trainer standings? Frank Lucarelli, 7 wins this past week, 7 wins the week before. These are 3-day weeks, people. Those are fantastic stats. He's up to 28% on the win end. Look at the wins to second ratio there, Vince. I know you always point that out.
Yeah, terrific. And a couple of things, Frank, we mentioned 7 wins away from 1,000 at Emerald Downs. He'd be the first trainer to do that, of course. And 49 wins in 43 days. So he's, he needs 17 wins in the final 24 days to tie the record of McKenna and Metz. There you see it. Actually, that should be Jeff Metz in 2015 and Tim McKenna in 2008.
Right.
Both had 66 wins, yeah. So, Frank, wow, what a roll he's on.
Yeah, Frank Lucarelli might have a horse in the mile this year, too. He did nominate Elliott Bay, who ran 4th in the Mount Rainier. And Frank, you'd got to figure he's getting pretty close to Washington Hall of Fame status.
You
I
bet.
would think.
And
1 to 9. 1 to 9.
I think he's I think the mile would be kind of like the last kind of check mark for him here in the state,
no
right?
kidding.
I mean, he's come close. Winning Machine a few years back did everything but win the race.
Okay.
20 wins in July. The next most trainer was 6.
There's a telling
Dominance,
stat right
yeah.
there.
Yeah, 20 to 6.
Frank Lucarelli just having he's already has 5 Emerald Downs titles, has been said, just a few wins from 1,000 at this track. We'll be right back on Emerald Downs Weekly. Saturday mornings in August are generally pretty nice here in the Pacific Northwest. Come on out for breakfast at the Wire, 8 to 10 every Saturday this month. Right off the winner's circle, 8 to 10, once again, free to attend. There's some $7 breakfast options, free coffee. Dean Mazuka hosts some great guests. Last week, Junior Coffee was here. There he is with Dean Mazuka. And Junior, of course, not training this year after the first 23 years at Emerald Downs and so many great seasons, Longacres and the trips to California. What a career. Great to see him. Wasserman was in the paddock, fellas. Once again, there's Al Padilla aboard him, and he's now 17 years of age. Looks great. He is a high, heavy horse, big horse, and just such a great personality and great demeanor. Jennifer Whitaker always wants to be there whenever Wasserman's here.
Yeah, here's Wasserman right here.
Subject to the only bobblehead so far in Emerald Downs history. 2008 mile winner. leading all-time earner in track history, and very popular horse as well, thanks to Howard, he did well off Wasserman. Breeder, owner, and trainer. Got some extra checks at the
Still
end.
our all-time leading earner here at
Yep.
the track, too. Yeah.
$575,000. Okay, well, that was some good stuff. And the Win Place show on 950 KGR is on 8 to 9 every Saturday and Sunday. And we've got a little contest going called March to the Mile. We've been doing it several years. We've got 2 more qualifiers to go. So if you get the trivia question right and qualify, everything has to kind of fall right, but it's not impossible. We've had 4 qualifiers so far, 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday, and we're going to have 6 $100 wagers if those horses make the field for the mile. Any horse that makes the field that's selected, $100 to win from Emerald Downs. So listen this weekend, the Win Place show. We'll be talking a lot of Longacres Mile here on that's at 950 KJR. A little plug for them. Okay, stat versus stat. What do you got this week?
Well, we're talking about jockeys here at Emerald Downs and Ryan Barber, how well he's been doing of late.
If Phil was here, he'd go, you lose.
Ryan Barber has won 10 races of his 22 at odds of 5 to 1 or higher. So he's rated out as the best jockey so far. Roscoe second, Gary Wales third, and Javier Matias fourth. Ryan Barber scores over 100, which is a very good score. And he also leads all jockeys with 6 winners at 10 to 1 or higher. So Ryan Barber, who hasn't ridden here in many years, right, Vince, has been doing very good for the bettors.
You bet, yeah. This first, he rode here in '99, so it's been 20 years since he's been here. Took him a little while to get going, but looks like he's really clicking now, and he's going to finish strong.
In the Bazell barn, half his winners at over 5 to 1 almost. That's a great rate.
That is outstanding. Wales, that's pretty good for a leading rider, being number 3 in the betting rank. Okay, there is Gary's stat. Mine's going to cover a little bit of Emerald Downs history, and let's go to the video from a pretty great horse in this horse's time in action.
It's tough to be good as Lob to the front on the outside of Exceptional Game. Then Watershed Park. It's tough to be good sprinting away. In second placing Exceptional Game. And weight really does not matter. It's tough to be good as 3 in front. And it's tough to be good is just going to run away with this one. It's tough to be good scores easily. Second placing is close.
Robert Geller calling it's tough to be good. That was at 1.25 miles. He has the fastest or the best record in a 10-race start in Emerald Downs history. He's won 9 of his first 10 starts. And he holds the track record at 1.25 miles and 1.75 miles, but he also has won at 7 different distances, one of 3 horses in Emerald Downs history to win at 7 different distances. It's tough to be good. Market Master, who just took his speed to any distance, and of course the great Noosa Beach won from 4.5 furlongs to 1 mile and 1/8. So those are the 3 that have won at 7 different distances, and it's tough to be good. We're doing this because the Marathon Series starts on August 10th. It's coming right up, and he's a track record holder at 2 marathon distances.
Who trained him? Roy Long?
Neil Knapp had him.
Oh, Neil Knapp.
Neil Knapp was there for his whole career. He ran third in a pretty good-sized stake, the Hines at Fairplex, which Vince knows that race well. Third, beaten less than a length at about 30 to 1. What a fine horse. It's tough to be good. So
it's a good stat, Joe.
Yeah, it's not bad. 7 different distances. How many different distances is Mike Mann's Gold won at? I just went over that just to verify.
Well, it's got to be pretty close, I would think. Probably 6.
You're right.
Guess.
6, good call.
Yeah.
How about West Seattle Boy?
He'd probably 5, I would think.
Look at Vince. Would you just look at my paper here?
No.
Maybe.
West Seattle Boy 5. He won 10 of his 21 victories here at 6.5 furlongs.
You know what? I'm going to give the slight edge to Joe's stat for one reason there. The rider of It's Tough to Be Good, in a great coincidence, was Kevin Krieger. And Kevin Krieger riding all 7 races here Friday night at Emerald Downs, 2005 riding champ back in town.
He's back, huh?
Yeah.
Kevin Krieger's riding at Emerald Downs.
News
of course,
to me.
He rode Golden Cents in the Kentucky Derby a few years ago.
Huh.
And he also was the first jockey to win 5 consecutive races on one card. Not consecutive mounts, yes, but 5 consecutive, like races 3 through 7. He won them. In fact, that's what it was, the day that Tim McKenna won 4 races.
Was one of them a dead heat?
Yeah, one of them was a dead heat. One of them was.
He won 5 straight races.
He won races 3 through 7 the day that McCanna won 5 to tie the state record, and McCanna also won 4 victories in 52 minutes because he had the dead heat. That was a stat earlier. Okay, where are we at here on this show? What are we talking about? We just did the stat versus stat.
We got,
Oh, okay. And
I was
now,
gone last week.
Is that a real picture, or it looks photoshopped again?
Photoshopped.
That's too big of
Well,
a hood.
the scenario looks realistic enough.
It should be a Bud Light.
What kind of
I mean, I find the story plausible.
Hey, it was boat racing weekend last week in the Tri-Cities.
He's happy. He's got beer.
Right. Beers
Was it
and
hot
boats.
over there?
You know, mid-90s.
Where's hydroplane racing going? Because I sure embraced it in the 60s and 70s. You're still a big fan.
Yeah, we had 10 boats over there, and I said the crowd was not what it used to be 10, 15 years ago, but still quite a few fans show up in the big air show between the races. So
Looked like you had plenty of room there. I mean,
yeah, $8 a beer, Joe. I think I need to ask Phil for a raise. Spend all my money on beer over the weekend.
Oh, what else is new? Okay. Hey, let's take a short break here on Emerald Downs Weekly. We're going to talk Longacres Mile and more when we come back.
Horses.
Okay. Eastern Washington is a little low on beer this week.
Aren't you supposed to bring your own? Can't they allow that?
Vince, you're going back.
Thanks for joining us on Emerald Downs Weekly. Joe Withy, Gary Doherty, Vince Brune, getting excited, as always, for the Longacres Mile 84th running coming up on Championship Sunday. And check out emeralddowns.com for Vince Brune's news and notes every Thursday, up about, a little before 6 p.m., Vince.
Yeah,
Just
usually 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock,
Okay.
somewhere around there, yeah.
Great stuff. Very comprehensive recap of the previous week with a lot of preview stuff as well, and of course some mile info this week. News and notes at emeralddowns.com. Hey, there's other things happening besides the mile, which is the big event, but Gary, we've got some traditional events and promotions that work pretty well.
You bet. Mile weekend starts off on Saturday. We have the Run the Mile early in the morning. You come out yourself. You can jog, walk, or sprint the 8 furlong distance around the racetrack. Our boss, Phil Ziegler, can run it in about 6 or 7 minutes. Some of us are on double-digit times, 12, 13 minutes, but it's all for a good cause. $20. Come out the day of, pay $20. It goes to the PDJF, the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. That occurs the morning Saturday. We have racing that night at 5 o'clock. Afterwards, one of the best bands to come out here, the Retros, will be playing upstairs.
Nice.
Come a pre-mile funk party on the 5th floor, free to get in. Then the 84th running of the mile will be that Sunday. Starts off with a Railbird Rally at 10:30 a.m. out in the park. You can come on out. We'll have guests from different jockeys and trainers. Doug Coquet will be leading the
GOAT.
The GOAT will be in charge, talking to everybody. We'll have some giveaways. Makes for a fun mile day.
Yeah, Run the Mile and the Railbird Rally. A lot of fun mile weekend. And also on Mile Day, remember, we've got some great $2 specials at the concession stands, the beverage stands, $2 Bud and Bud Lights, also $2 margaritas, and $2 hot dogs on Mile Day. And that is Championship Sunday, August 11th, not far away. So
We'll see if we can get those specials during the Railbird Rally.
yeah, you can work on that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you get rejected a little bit.
And remember, we got
Gary's
that.
always trying to give away the company's money.
Yep.
He's really good at that.
Yeah.
We do have that all stakes pick 4 too.
Yeah.
With the Distaff, the Oaks, and the Derby, Muckleshoot Derby, and then the
Total
Longacres
nominations for the 4 races?
56.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're probably looking at some pretty decent sized fields there. So it should be a really superlative all stakes pick 4 there. You know,
really
I know
should.
I'll be playing, and you know the mile favorite probably, you know, depending on the shippers, would be Any Port in a Storm.
Yeah, let's take a look at the list. Well, there he is.
Yeah, and the only question mark about him, of course, is getting the mile, and he's very, very fast, and he'll probably be in front. But he is going, you know, he's only routed once in his career, and he's got excellent connections in his corner, so a very deserved favorite.
He didn't win that one route either.
Right, I think he's more mature now. You know, Blaine Wright doing something old school here, skipping the mile in the 16th race to train up from 6.5 to the mile. So very interesting way to attack it, and I think he's really a very, very good horse.
He's a good horse. He's 7 for 13 lifetime. He loves Emerald Downs. He is sharp. Blaine, of course, as Vince said, skipped the Mount Rainier. There's the list of nominees.
How about Sip and Fire, Joe?
Sip and Fire is nominated, as you can see. What else do you want to know?
Well,
is he?
I mean, do you have any intelligent question? No, he never works out. Let's hear from
I'll
Vince
mention
on
that
John Sadler.
John Sadler nominated 4 horses, including 3 of them for Costa and Pete Ronas, the 2018 Eclipse Award-winning owners. And Sadler and the Ronases, of course, campaigned Accelerate to the Breeders' Cup Classic win last year. One of the real intriguing ones is a 4-year-old Higher Power, who just finished second in the Wicker on turf, and he's by Medaglia d'Oro out of a Seattle Slew mare, and the younger brother of Alternate, who is now a good sire. Alternation. And so really a nice horse, and he's stakes placed on dirt and a stakes winner on turf, and excellent connections in his corner. He'd be real intriguing if he should come.
Okay, 21 nominations to the mile, and our field size in stakes races is higher than it's been since 2006. So a good trend that looks like it's going to continue on Championship Sunday. I think we need to take a break, so we will do that. We have another segment remaining on Emerald Downs Weekly. Trainer Howard Belvoir raced Share the Night, and as a broodmare, she rewarded him with 10 winners from 11 starters. The best was a colt by Cahill Road, and he became the richest and arguably most popular runner in Emerald Downs history. Wasserman gradually built a following with his blue-collar style of always showing up and always putting out a strong effort.
He is real durable. He wanted to train. He's like an iron horse. He wanted to train and do it, and he never had no trouble until he's 11 years old.
At age 5, Wasserman scored his first stakes victory, the 2007 Governor's Handicap. 2008 was an incredible season for Wasserman, Belvoir, and jockey Jennifer Whitaker. The Big Bay flew home for a track record 4 photo finish stakes victories.
You're just riding and you're just going, and you don't look for the wire or anything. You just kind of, after you ride enough, you kind of know where it's at.
Wasserman, the deep closer, was 10-1 in the 2008 Longacres Mile. There was past champ Flamethrowing Texan, future champ Assessment, 3 shippers from Southern California, and 2-time Canadian Sovereign Award winner True Metropolitan. Whitaker was up, and no woman had ever won the mile.
Wasserman, True Metropolitan, they're the dangers. Wasserman's getting them. Wasserman on the outside and True Metropolitan take over. Wasserman takes the lead. True Metropolitan fighting back. Wasserman in front, and Wasserman in a photo from True Metropolitan.
Nearly all who attended Emerald Downs relate that race as the most thrilling, joyful, and memorable in track history.
He just seemed like he knew where the wire was, and Jennifer was not sure she'd won or not, but she's sitting on the backside. She always sit and patted him on the backside and let him look. Then she could hear the roar, so she figured she'd won it. So.
The mile was the pinnacle, but there was so much more. Wasserman might have won the race the next year, but was forced to go very wide on the stretch turn, and stablemate Assessment took the top prize. Wasserman won in 8 different Emerald Downs seasons, tied at the top on that list. He has the most stakes starts and stakes placings in track history. He ran in a record 7 Washington Cups and is #1 on the best list. He's the all-time leading track earner with over $575,000. Robert Geller enjoyed calling his final victory in 2013.
Wasserman coming, and Wasserman on the outside and blurred top. Wasserman, yes, he's won. Wasserman first.
In retirement, Wasserman continues to enjoy pleasing his adoring public at the Belvoir Barn and morning programs in the paddock.
He had talent, but he wasn't one of them that shined all the time, but he just tried hard. So he's sometimes better than talent. So.
Emerald Downs Weekly continues. Thanks for joining us. And got several regular viewers out there. I know a few.
Yeah?
Pat LaPlay always watches. He's made some suggestions.
I brought this for Pat because he misses having our crickets out here.
Okay, yeah,
No,
I know
he
he
didn't like
misses
them.
out a lot. But that's the only bobblehead in track history so far, Wasserman. But we're going to have another one.
Yes.
Let's hear about it.
August 17th, we'll pay tribute to Rocco Bowen with a Rocco Bowen bobblehead here. Come on out. We have 500 to give away.
That's a Saturday evening,
night,
5
right?
o'clock, first
Yep.
race.
August 17th.
Yeah.
In fact, that should be a fun night, and we're going to have Rocco's going to come back, and he'll be here, and Joe maybe give an interview, see what's
Not
going on.
expected to ride.
No, he's not riding like Krieger's riding, but Rocco's is here, the way of the crowd, only 3-time champion,
Yep.
jockey champion here at Emerald Downs. So
3 consecutive.
yes, 3 consecutive. That's right. Others have won 3.
Ricky Frazier, 5.
Now this weekend, 3 days a
Do I
weekend.
win next week's stat just because of that right there?
You've almost clinched, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I have. But anyway, that's great. Rocco Bowen
Rocco.
bobblehead. Rocco's still rehabbing his shoulder. It's just not 100%. Of course, many fans have missed him. As Gary mentioned, he's won the last 3 titles here, jockey titles, and they haven't been close. So
No.
Rocco Bowen bobblehead on August 17th, first race, 5 p.m. on that Saturday. That is going to be fun to see Rocco again. He is really one popular guy, and people, it hasn't been that long since we've seen him. Hey, we also are going to talk about our favorite
This weekend.
miles. Oh, this weekend.
Yes.
Heck yeah, Friday night. Go ahead.
We got Brewers Night this Friday night, 6:30 first post. And the brewer is Nikasi Brewing. They'll be out, and you can get beers for $2.50. And after the first race, we'll spin the
That's
wheel.
a craft beer, too.
It's a craft wheel. We'll spin the wheel, and the beer's going to be anywhere from $2 to, I believe, $4. So
Still a good deal.
Yep. And also we have a band that
Gary'd
night.
like it to be a little bit lower, but
And my brothers too. Kelly Bradley Band will be out playing between the races, so that'll be a fun Friday night. Horseshoe toss. How about those new horseshoes? We got them all nice painted up, different
looks
colors.
good. Yeah,
So,
you don't have to think too much out there. Still have to measure maybe.
yes, that's a
But
good point.
yeah, horseshoe toss. Still haven't got a ringer yet this year, but
Vince, you watch
we'll
that all
have
from
3
the,
more
from the 6th
tossers
floor?
on
Sometimes
Friday night.
I get a chance, yeah, I'll peek down there.
Free to sign up for the horseshoe toss.
Yep. 3
Live music.
3 lucky contestants.
Live
Yeah.
music.
Kelly Bradley Band. She's been
You
here
said
before.
that? Okay.
That'll be fun. On to Saturday, Dollar Night. Come on out.
Dollar night. That's
yes,
huge.
$1.
That's huge.
Ice cream sandwiches, popcorn, sodas,
People love
corn
that.
dogs, chips.
Once again, Gary reducing prices on things to.
$1 on Saturday night. Then the Herding Cats are playing
Love them.
on the 5th floor after the races. John, he's one of the best drummers in the Northwest, will be appearing here this Saturday night. Again, free
lot of
show.
entertainment value.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I never.
guitar player's real good too.
You ever seen a guy drum and fill the drums up, catch it, eyes closed, put on different costumes? This guy is one amazing
Catch him
drummer.
on YouTube if you'd like. Herding Cats
You
drummer.
can do that. And then Sunday,
Corgis.
lots of corgis.
Yeah. Corgis are
They're
popular.
back. Mm-hmm.
Now, the parade of the Corgis, is that all of the dogs or just the ones in that race? Is it a post-parade type thing? I got to know.
All of them. All 72,
All 72,
corgis.
wow.
Yes. Well, as many want to come out, right down the racetrack, pose in front of the winner's circle. You can get some pictures. Then we'll bring them back to the park and get ready for heats 1 and 2. And we're going to run 12 at a time. I mean, it's a full loaded heat, and
They're just playing. They weren't really fighting.
there's
I
no
found that out.
no disqualifications. Just make sure you start fairly, and Dee Mizuka will be the starter, and we'll have somebody down there at the other end making sure the photos get called correctly.
Yeah, we need that. Because
I
you goofed
kind
that
of blew
up.
one in the.
Yeah, you blew one this year.
Yeah.
But okay, I think nobody's claiming foul or anything. Okay, so the Corgis on Sunday, and we'll have a race card as well. We might have a couple quarter horse qualifying races. It looks like this Sunday. That'll be good. And hey, most memorable miles. Let's stay on the theme a little bit. Vince, going back in history, there's been 83 of them. What stands out to you?
Well, I guess the one here would be Wasserman. We've seen him here. We've documented that for so many reasons in the past. I think a couple of them growing up going. Of course, Trooper 7 was really one of the great ones too. When he won in 80 and 81, both huge days. Another one of my favorites, 87, Judge Angelucci. Competitively, it wasn't much of a race, but standing on the rail that day, that was one heck of a horse.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he was, and he just, the term toyed with the field and he made some really pretty nice horses looked pretty common that day. Just to see the power go by me was really one of the most strong horses I'll ever remember in my life. And he ended up running third in the Breeders' Cup Classic that year. You know, to Ali Sheba
Ferdinand and Ali Sheba.
Ferdinand. So, and the great Charlie Whittingham. Training him was kind of the put it all really together. So that was a great one.
Yeah. How about you, Gary?
I was here at Emerald Downs, I think 20 years ago. Hard to believe that Garrett Gomez won aboard Bud Royale. And I didn't remember that, Garrett Gomez, one of the greatest jockeys of all time, who passed away, last few years, who also beat Zenyatta aboard Blame.
That's right.
And Bud Royale came up from California, and he beat a very tough horse from Canada, Mike Kay, 20-year anniversary. And I believe, didn't Bud Royale win post 8, the first mile winner?
He was at that.
Yeah, first
and
one.
he also second in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Bud Royale.
That year.
Yeah, is that right? Who beat him? That Cat Thief? Or?
Yep, Cat Thief, Wayne Lucas, right.
Boy.
Bud Royale, he ran in the 98 mile and finished behind Wild Wonder. Didn't run all that great, but he came back and won it in 99.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Wasserman. 2008, that grandstand just erupted. Howard Belvoir, pretty stoic. He's not a real holler guy. He's not a backslapper. He's not always out there telling jokes and kibitzing with the other trainers. He knows them all and has some friends, of course. Not to say Howard is, unfriendly, but nonetheless, everybody was so happy for him and Jennifer Whitaker and the Wasserman, who did not win his first stake till he was 5. And this was his 6-year-old season, 4 photo finish stakes victories. The mile, the place was just so joyous and happy and ecstatic and crazy. It
10
was
to
a
1?
great day. Yeah,
10 to 1.
The number 4 horse, Wasserman, 2008. All right. There's a little bit of stuff what's going on at Emerald Downs. We're happy to be here. First race Friday at 6:30. Thanks for watching Emerald Downs Weekly.
Here come the corgis.
Gary's going to be busy that day.